watching the SEC on ABC, presented by Starbucks. It's the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week. The Palace on the Prairie in Norman has hosted a lot of big Oklahoma home games over its century-long history. Today it's the site of another as the 8th-ranked Sooners welcome number 22 Missouri back to Norman. Once annual foes in the Big 8 and Big 12, the Tigers are here for the first time since 2011 in a must-win game for Oklahoma. Brent Venables and his team with an eye toward the college football playoff. The coach hoping for more from John Mateer and his offense today against the talented and dangerous Mizzou team, bolstered by the return of its starting quarterback Beau Pribula. His ankle injury derailed the Tigers' CFB hopes. Now they're cast as spoilers. They'd like nothing better than to deliver a huge blow to their longtime rivals in the city where their coach Eli Drinkwitz was born. The situation's simple for number 8 Oklahoma. If they win out against Missouri and LSU here at home, they are almost certainly in the 12-team playoff field, but lose one of these two remaining games, and they are almost certainly out. A lot of pressure on the Sooners today. And welcome everybody to Norman. I'm Sean McDonough along with Greg McElroy. Delighted to have you with us. Oklahoma in good position as a result of back-to-back road wins against top 15 opponents at Tennessee and Alabama. Greg, they won last week with just 212 yards of offense against the Crimson Tide. We expect them to be more aggressive on offense today against the terrific Missouri defense. As a matter of fact, the Tigers are top 25 in the country on both offense and defense, led by the ground game and the leading rusher in the nation, Ahmad Hardy.
And he's been fantastic this year. I mean, nearly 1,350 yards. And to think that of those 1,350 yards, nearly 950 come after contact. He's very difficult to bring down. That's 140 yards better than anyone else in the SEC, but against the best defense he's faced, against Auburn, against Alabama, not quite as productive. So he's got to be at his best today against the top 4 rush defense in the country in Oklahoma.
And he'll have some help as they get their starting quarterback back. With more on that down on the field, here's Molly McGrath.
Yeah, Sean, you mentioned it. Mizzou quarterback Beau Pribula starting today after suffering a non-fractured dislocated ankle less than a month ago. And he admitted to us he's not fully healthy but feels good enough to play. Now, Pribula not even wearing a brace on that ankle. He's just going to have it heavily taped. He was a full participant in practice this week, but I watched him in pregame warm-ups. He was running around, sprinting on the field, moving well with no visible limitations. Sean and Greg.
ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Game of the week.
And it's the 98th meeting all-time between Oklahoma and Missouri. Brent Venables' team 8-2. Trying to win out and make the college football playoff. Eli Drinkwitz' team started out 5-0 with playoff aspirations. A tough home loss to Alabama. They come into this one having lost 3 of their last 5 overall, but it's 7-3. Still a chance for a third straight 10-win season. Tate Sandell's kickoff is a touchback. Oklahoma won the toss and deferred, so Eli Drinkwitz elected to take the ball and hand it to Beau Pribula, the graduate student, first year at Mizzou, as a transfer from Penn State, where he spent 3 years. Was having a nice season for the Tigers before he dislocated his ankle 4 weeks ago at Vanderbilt, and he's back better than most expected. He gives a great tip of the cap to the medical staff at Missouri. Comes out throwing quickly out wide to their leading receiver, Kevin Coleman, who swung down after a 3-yard gain by Peyton Bowen. Coleman by far their leading receiver.
Beau Pribula to be back this quickly is truly remarkable. To get injured at the end of October, to return this quickly. I think if you look at it, though, when you talk to Eli Drinkwitz, he said there was a little bit of hesitation, but he's passed every single test. The one thing today, straight ahead speed with an ankle will not be affected. How much does it affect his lateral mobility? That's something to watch against a great pass rush.
He has Ahmad Hardy on one hip and Kevin Coleman on the other. Gives it to Hardy. off a 300-yard rushing game last week against Mississippi State in Columbia. He gets 5 on his first carry today. Just the 6th player ever to rush for 300 yards in a game in Southeastern Conference history at 300 right on that number on 25 carries, including 3 touchdowns.
And Missouri has been great with transfers from the Sun Belt in the past. Nate Noel, Marcus Carroll, Ahmad Hardy next in line, and what a perfect fit for this run scheme.
6th best rushing offense in the country against the 4th best rushing defense in the nation in Oklahoma. Jamal Roberts is the running back now. He gets the handoff and has the first down. David Stone made the tackle. Oklahoma playing today again without our Mason Thomas along that defensive front. But they managed to win at Tennessee with Thomas playing less than a quarter before he injured his leg. And they played without him last week at Alabama. And the defense was outstanding in both games. 3 takeaways in each game against the Vols and the Crimson Tide. A big part of those victories.
And the defensive line extremely deep.
The play fake to Hardy. Pribula, a good runner. And he gets tackled at the 43-yard line. He was a backup for the most part at Penn State. They put him in a lot of quarterback run situations. He got 8 there.
And this is what makes this offense so difficult to defend. They run so well horizontally that it's the backside that has to always keep their antenna up for a naked.
Hardy, a powerful run for a first down. He got 5 more, averaging 134.6 per game. And Pribula looks like he wants to line them up quickly after they get the ball back to the officials. First down, Mizzou at its own 48. Another play fake. Brent Norfleet, excellent tight end to the Oklahoma 47. Boy, those play action fakes are so effective when you have a running game like they have, led by Hardy.
I don't know how you account for it all, and it's such a methodical offense. I love this scheme. A lot of the throws are underneath. You look at Bo Pribula's numbers, not a lot of throws downfield, very few that travel 20-plus yards in the air, but they're very efficient. They stay in front of the sticks, and it's all because of how they can utilize misdirection in the run game.
It is a ball control offense. They average more than 32 minutes per game time of possession. Out wide it goes to Donovan Olubide, the freshman who's really come on in recent weeks. Had a touchdown catch in their win against the Mississippi State Bulldogs last week. He came up a yard short of the first down. 3rd down and a short 2.
That's one area of this Missouri team. Everyone talks about the run game and Hardy. I think they are very underrated at wide receiver. Very few drops, extremely efficient, and do a good job marrying up this run game with how they attack free space.
They have Roberts back in on 3rd down and short. He's a little bit bigger. He rips through a hole and has a first down. He'd be the featured back on a lot of teams. He's rushed for nearly 600 yards this season, averaging better than 6 yards per carry, and he got 7 on that one.
And a great job by the left side of the offensive line and the tight end, Jordan Harris, moving that defensive front for the Sooners.
Nice opening drive for Missouri. Jamal Roberts again to the 33. The offense coordinator and play caller is Kirby Moore.
Kirby Moore, I think, has brought his own flavor to this offense. His background is kind of rooted in the downfield passing attack, the quick passing attack that you see at Alabama, where he overlapped with Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer. But he's really meshed well with what Eli Drinkwitz has done traditionally by running the ball outside the tackles.
Looked like the Sooners were offside. Flags are down. Kevin Coleman taken down just short of the first down, about 2 yards short of the markers. David Stone made the tackle. David Smith is the referee leading this Southeastern Conference crew.
onside on the defense, number 56. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
Grayson Halton, part of that deep interior defensive line group for Coach Venables, who calls the defenses.
Yeah, and he's lined up right over the center, and as you can see, just gets a little bit of a head start because the clap from Pribula hadn't even started, so I'm not sure what made him go so early.
10th play of the drive. Pribula's 3 for 3 passing, all of them short. They've already rushed for 31. They average 242 rushing yards per game. Hardy has another first down. Robert Spears-Jennings made the tackle for OU.
This is a great defensive alignment, and Brent Venables does such a great job of creating confusion with his pre-snap adjustments and pre-snap movement and then late blitzes. But when you have a run game that's this committed, you're really forced to kind of be a bit more stagnant. You want to make sure you account for every single gap. We said it's kind of comparable to playing against a triple option type of offense, because if one gap is unaccounted for, it could be out the gate. So expect a slightly more conservative defensive plan from Oklahoma.
They line up in the pistol. Hardy, nifty cut inside the 20. And showing those skills that Greg mentioned. Yards after contact. Very difficult to tackle. Powerfully built at 5'10", 210. He gets up hobbling a bit after an 8-yard pickup.
Just an unbelievable move right here. It looked like he was going to be tackled right there, and he bounces to the outside. And a little concern on the Missouri sideline is looked like he kind of got his right leg trapped underneath him, but he's limping it off right now at about the 24-yard line.
12th play of the drive. They've held the ball for more than 7 minutes and taken the crowd out of it. In this early morning start, Jamal Roberts with a flag down. Had enough for the first down before he got tackled by Owen Heineke.
Holding on the offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
Keegan Trost, the right tackle. Transfer from Wake Forest.
And this is a killer right here. You're going to see inside, Marvin Jones tries to slip inside, and he just grabs him with that left arm, and that's what results in the penalty. And an offense like this that's so efficient, staying ahead of the chains, penalties are complete drive killers. So expect Bo Pribula to try to get half of it back to make this third down a little more manageable.
John Mateer and the Sooners offense waiting patiently. They've had the ball for half of this first quarter. Have the Tigers over the middle. Pribula to Norfleet, who returned last week after missing a game with a dislocated shoulder. The big target at 6'6", 260. That one got them 6. It's third down and 6.
That's what the goal is, though. Anytime you're in second and long, you want to make the third down more manageable. And with the kicking woes that Missouri's had this year, could be thinking possible 4-down territory, but that would require getting to 4th and 1 or just inside of that.
They're 2 for 2 on third down on the drive. Roberts has been the third down specialist, and he's back in. At the play clock at 3, Pribula took the snap. He's retreating and throws. And incomplete. Good thing for Missouri. It was incomplete. That would have been a loss. Joshua Manning caught it inbounds. So the penalty derailed a very nice drive for Coach Drinkwitz. And as you said, the field goal situation is iffy. They had a returning starter in Blake Craig. He was injured in their opener against Central Arkansas, non-contact knee injury while covering a kickoff. So they've done it by committee since. When they're near the 20-yard line and they're shorter kicks, it's Robert Meyer, a true freshman who's 9 out of 12 for the year. Very little breeze to speak of. It's an ugly-looking kick, and it got through from 39 yards. And a smile from Coach Drinkwitz. It's an adventure when they kick field goals.
Looked like it was nearly touched off the left-hand side, but you watch it just cut ever so slightly off the left side of the upright. for 3 points.
A fairway hit, but not leading the tour in driving distance. Well, we used a golf analogy on the way to the break, but this one was fat, like a golf shot. Robert Meyer hit way behind the ball, but got enough of it to get it through the uprights for Eli Drinkwitz. And a nice start. What a drive. 14 plays to go 54 yards. They took 8:23 off the clock. Oliver Robbins kicks off. And a fair catch made by Jacob Jordan. Oklahoma generally does not try to return kickoffs. So here comes the offense. Hoping for improvement, led by John Mateer. First year here, like Pribula at Missouri. Mateer's a first-year transfer. Came from Washington State. Dual threat quarterback. Got off to a brilliant start to their first 4 games. Injured his right thumb, had surgery, and was off his best form for a while, but getting better week to week. We send Xavier Robinson in motion. They come out being aggressive right out of the gate, and that pass is too long for Deion Burks. They want to try to take advantage of his speed today. Toriano Pride had the coverage for Missouri.
And talking to Ben Arbuckle, the offensive coordinator for Oklahoma, the big point is he wants to challenge the corners. He feels like the corners against the speed that Oklahoma has at wide receiver, that's a matchup in favor of the Sooners. And in his DNA, he's a high-volume, vertical passing guy. That hasn't really been who he's been this year, but it might come out today against a gettable secondary.
The leading receiver, Isaiah Satania, went in motion. Mateer throws, ricochet, incomplete. And it'll be 3rd down and 10. Trying again to get it to Deion Burks with Pride in coverage again.
Toriano Pride coming off a really nice game last week. They said that was huge for him, and Kanik almost grabbed it there on the deflection.
And Pride was the SEC Defensive Player of the Week. Had a pick 6, one of 2 they had against Mississippi State. And he also returned a botched snap on a field goal, 62 yards. Mateer over the middle. Caught by Jaron Kanik, the tight end, for a 7-yard gain. So after Missouri held the ball for well over half of the first quarter, it's a quick 3 and out for Ben Arbuckle's bunch.
And they're going to have to kind of go back to the drawing board there. A little more air on the deep ball on 1st and 10 from Mateer, but this is a really sound defense. They're going to force you to be creative. They're going to force you to be patient. But when you have those shots, you have to hit them. This is an outstanding group that can rush the passer.
Grayson Miller, the punter. And a fair catch signaled by Kevin Coleman and made at the 18-yard line. 51-yard punt. 3-0 Missouri. We're in the first quarter in Norman.
ABC College Football is presented by the Starbucks Coffee Company.
And you might need a coffee here in Norman for this early morning start. Kickoff just after 11 a.m. local time. Bo Pribula and the offense ready to go. 8 minutes and 23 seconds to kick the field goal. Believe it or not their longest possession of the season. They had a drive of 10:43 against Louisiana in game 3 of the season. And a 16-play, 8-minute, 47-second drive in the border war against Kansas. Second game of the year. When Eli Drinkwitz watched Bo Pribula play a great game in that rivalry game. 30 for 39 for 334 and 3 touchdowns for Pribula against the Jayhawks.
He was lights out that day for sure, and they do such a great job of playing complementary football and taking some of the pressure off their defense.
Here's Hardy, and they defend that stretch very well. Kobe McKenzie made the tackle. Wasn't even a given at the beginning of the year that Pribula would be their starting quarterback. He was in a battle with Sam Horn, and then Horn injured his knee in the opener. So it's been Pribula. Then when he got hurt, Matt Zollers, the true freshman, stepped in for the second half of the loss at Vanderbilt. and started the last two against Texas A&M and Mississippi State. His future is bright, but the man of the hour is Pribula, with Hardy behind him in the pistol, a hole outside to the right. Wow, is he tough to tackle. They're a team in the country that runs stretch plays and outside zone better than the Missouri Tigers.
Yeah, good luck finding one, that's for sure. And it's really their tight ends, too. They do such a good job of capturing the edge. This time it's Norfleet who gets the edge, and there it is for Hardy to just take off right around it. And like I said, man, he is so hard to bring down with initial contact.
So that's one of the reasons that he came here, likes outside zone. Transferred after 1 year at ULM, Louisiana Monroe, where he rushed for more than 1,300 yards. And was the Sun Belt Freshman of the Year and a freshman All-American. He gets dropped for a 2-yard loss. Well played by Kip Lewis, and Cortland Guillory, the freshman cornerback, officially a loss of 1.
Already a game of adjustments for Brent Venables defensively. He's going with a bit of a 3-safety look, where the deepest defender is about 9 or 10 yards right in the middle of the field. Then he has 2 safeties to the outside that are very capable at about 8 yards to come up and run support. So he's already tweaking where he's at in the back end, not being threatened by the downfield throw from Missouri.
Kevin Coleman lined up in the backfield and then went in motion. Pribula about to get smashed. Swung down for a sack on a 2-yard loss by Dominic Williams, part of that deep defensive tackle room.
And this right here is tough because Hardy's responsible for the block on the inside, but it takes a little bit too long. As you can see, he takes off, which allows the linebacker Lewis to trigger, and that's what results in the sacks. Your running back's got to stay in there just a little bit longer before he escapes, because that's what led to the pressure.
38 sacks for the year for Oklahoma, tied with Texas A&M for the most in the country. On 3rd and 13, that trickery fails. Grayson Halton ruined it. Dropped Jamal Roberts for a loss. They'll mark it back at the 34-yard line, a loss of 4.
And this is a really tough ask right here. Watch the center. As the center's trying to work out to the defensive tackle that's lined up, head up to outside the left guard. I mean, that's a long way for the center, Tollison, to try to reach him. He can't. It's tackled for loss.
Connor Wesselman, the punter. There is a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Isaiah Satania, fair catch at the 25-yard line. 41-yard punt. A decision for Eli Drinkwitz to make. He wanted
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 or more players in the backfield. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down, Oklahoma.
Actually, it's against Missouri. And Oklahoma will have the ball for just the second time. They've run only 3 plays. They've had the ball for 56 seconds. But the defense rose up on the second possession for the Sooners. It's 3-0 Mizzou. Today's Impact Players are brought to us by Fairfield by Marriott.
Josiah Trotter has done such a great job at middle linebacker for this Missouri defense all throughout the season. And Isaiah Satania has become the go-to guy in the slot for the Sooners all year.
They may try to be creative today with Satania, move him around a little bit. He goes in motion. They fake a handoff to him. He got belted after Mateer kept it. And Mateer got a yard, and that's all. Tackled by Josiah Trotter. Boy, did Satania get blasted as he went in motion.
I mean, just crushed by Zion Young, who's going right upfield. And they have an all-points bulletin on Satania. They have to know where he's at all times. And Zion Young following the plan and delivering a big hit.
Mateer retreating. There are a couple of flags down. The ball caught for a loss. Back to the 26-yard line by Xavier Robinson. Trotter there, the leading tackler for Missouri. And Ben Arbuckle said he's the best linebacker he's seen on film this season. A couple of officials threw a flag.
Might have been the right tackle. Looked like he wrapped up Damon Wilson pretty good.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Both are on the offense. Holding, number 55. The penalty is declined. Holding, number 70 on the offense. That penalty is declined as well. 3rd down.
2 of the 3 freshman starters along the offensive line. Ryan Foje is a true freshman at right tackle. The left guard, Eddie Pierre-Louis, is a redshirt freshman. Michael Fasusi starting again at left tackle.
They're going to have to help those freshmen out because these 2 ends, Zion Young on one side, Damon Wilson on the other, as good a tandem as you'll find in the SEC.
They are game wreckers. They didn't take the penalty because the play went for a loss of 5. Mateer in trouble again, and he's thrown down by Damon Wilson, the transfer from Georgia. First sack for the Tigers. It goes for a loss of 11 for OU.
And they're trying to help out with their tight end Kanik on the right side to just give Foje a little bit of time. So what does Missouri do? They run a little bit of a game where the tackle goes outside and allows Damon Wilson to come to the inside. And Wilson makes the play on the quarterback trying to escape.
Grayson Miller to punt. Flag down at the line of scrimmage. Coleman with a flag down near him. He scampers out of bounds on the far sideline. 50-yard punt. There are a couple of flags on the play. Eli Drinkwitz and Brent Venables waiting anxiously.
There's no foul for holding on the kicking team. Illegal formation on the kicking team. 5 or more players in the backfield. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. First down, Missouri.
Well, apparently that's the flavor of the day. More SEC action following us on ABC today at 3:30. Arkansas is at Texas. Longhorns very slim hopes for the college football playoff. Desperately need a win today. Tennessee is at Florida tonight, 7:30. Both games will be available on the all-new ESPN app.
3 very sneaky good rivalries. Of course, Tennessee and Florida, so many memories. Not many wins for the Volunteers in Gainesville in quite some time. And then Arkansas and Texas, man, that is a sneaky one. The Super Bowl for the Hogs have lost 8 in a row, and Texas reeling after last weekend's disappointment in Georgia.
And this is a rivalry that has been renewed in the SEC. The first quarter dominated by Missouri.
Got to be thinking at some point in this drive or the next, a shot is coming from Missouri with those safeties playing so tight.
Hardy. Looked like they stacked him up at the line. He powered ahead for 2 on what is perhaps the final play of the first quarter. Although Pribula does look like he's trying to line them up quickly. Hardy, the running back, in the pistol. And they're not going to get another play off.
That's the end of the first quarter.
All Missouri, but the lead is just 3-0. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. All-State has celebrated every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by donating to the university's athletic scholarship fund, supporting all student athletes. Thank you, All-State. The only points in this game, the 39-yard field goal that was struck a little fat by Robert Meyer, but made it through. They didn't need the net for that one, as it barely got over the crossbar, but it counts. First play of the second quarter. 2nd and 7, Mizzou from its own 48. They had the ball in the first quarter for more than 12 minutes. Hardy dropped for a loss of 1. Owen Heineke and Grayson Halton there. Heineke's become a factor on that defense. Transfer from Ohio State, where he's a lacrosse player, was a walk-on for Brent Venables. Stuck it out deep down the depth chart, and eventually won Coach Venables over. 3rd down and 7.
This is where you got to be very aware of possible pressure from Oklahoma, but based on the pre-snap look, looks like it could be coming off the left-hand side.
Bo Pribula to the 50-yard line, juggled and dropped along the near sideline. It wasn't going to be a first down anyway for Jordan Harris. And a flag down and a little woofing after the play. You saw on a replay as we were going to break, there was some woofing during the coin toss. Whatever happened just now was right in front of Brent Venables, and he's an interested onlooker to the officials' conversation.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 34 on the Oklahoma bench. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
That is huge. It would have been 4th down and almost certainly a punt. Adipaju Adibarawa is called for a critical penalty.
And it looked like he was over on the bench, and something happens right around as the official is going in there. That's when he throws the flag, and it looks as though somebody's in the face of the Missouri player or something who's on the ground, and just a massive mistake on Oklahoma's sideline. You can't do that.
As you can see, not a lot of room on the sidelines here. It's one of the tightest stadiums in the country with an eye toward that. But no excuse. Pribula after the fake, trying to throw it away, it seemed, or get it to Norfleet. It was almost a diving interception by Robert Spears Jennings after the pressure came from Marvin Jones Jr. and Spears Jennings is not getting up.
That is a big loss in the secondary too, and Jones played it perfectly. They got hit on a couple of nakeds earlier, and looked like as Spears Jennings was trying to make the play, kind of landed awkwardly on that right arm.
He's an important player in that secondary, a senior from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Robert Spears Jennings very nearly had the interception, and on the diving attempt, he appeared to injure his right shoulder, which was already strapped up prior to the game. He's trying to walk it off on the sideline. He's had that right arm folded against his chest. So play resumes with Missouri leading 3-0, less than a minute into the second quarter. Spears Jennings in the tent now. 2nd and 10 for Missouri. Oklahoma had the ball for 13 minutes and 4 seconds to 2:45 for OU.
And since that first drive, Oklahoma's done a much better job up front along the defensive line of penetrating and getting vertical, which has slowed down this Missouri run game.
Jamal Roberts, the running back, and he's thrown down for a loss by Owen Heineke. Loss of 5.
And a great job by Heineke just on the linebacker run through. They're trying to run on the outside zone. Heineke sees it, goes right in the backfield, and forces another 3rd and long.
We started to tell his story during fall camp. Heineke frustrated. He wasn't really a factor on the defense. At the end of training camp, he put together his own videotape of highlights from practices and sent it to Brent Venables. Venables watched it, said, I was embarrassed. I didn't realize how terrific he's been in practice. He earned a chance to play, and boy, is he taking advantage of it. He's in on the play again with Reggie Powers the 3rd. Roberts dropped for a 1-yard loss, and Oklahoma has has figured out that run game for Missouri.
Yeah, they have, and it's by being more aggressive. They were a little passive on the first drive, and they got a couple times. Now they're pinning their ears back and going. They're making plays behind the line of scrimmage. That was a huge emotional stand after the free first down that they gave with the sideline unsportsmanlike.
End over end punt by Wesselman, and downed at the 2-yard line. 40-yard punt, perfectly placed by Wesselman, the transfer from Stanford.
Just excellent job too. It looked like Toriano Pride that was able to corral it. No, excuse me, that's Johnson, the wide receiver.
Number 2s, the bane of every college football announcer's existence. Marquise Johnson there. They've spotted it at the 3. Here comes Oklahoma, a couple of 3-and-outs. They've run 6 plays. More than 2 minutes into the second quarter.
They got to get the run game going a little bit too. They haven't tried at all.
Minus 7 yards of offense. Xavier Robinson ahead across the 6. Zion Young the tackle.
Got to try to run the ball a little bit. I know you have 3 freshmen offensive linemen, but this is a great pass rushing group. If you become one-dimensional offensively, these edge rushers could just pin their ears back and go. You got to keep them honest by trying to run the ball between the tackles.
Shut out for the first time in the first quarter this year, the Sooners. Deion Burks, a 1-yard gain. Josiah Trotter right there for Corey Batoon, the defensive coordinator.
Continues to be just one of the best coached defenses I've seen this year. Very few mistakes, very simple. They don't do a ton. They also do an incredible job tackling. I think they're one of the best tackling teams I've seen this season.
Led by Trotter, the son of Jeremiah Trotter, the former Pro Bowl linebacker, Philadelphia Eagles Hall of Famer. Mateer from the goal line. That's caught with enough for the first down. Isaiah Satania driven back by Marvin Burks Jr., but he got the first down, and a mock cheer goes up from the 80,000 here in Norman. First down of the game for OU. They line up quickly. Missouri wasn't set. Low throw. Back-to-back first downs. Gets another roar from the crowd. Keontez Lewis the catch.
I like this tempo. Just try to inject a little life into your offense.
That was a 12-yard gain. And the pass batted down. Good to see Keontez Lewis back. He suffered what looked to be a very serious injury when he ran into the wall in one of the end zones head first in the game against Kent State.
Big relief to have him too, especially in a game like this where vertical speed and being able to run past these corners might be opportunistic for this Oklahoma offense.
After an incomplete pass intended for Lewis, it's 2nd down and 10.
Press coverage down here with one-on-one. You might be able to take a shot.
Mateer looking to that single coverage intended for Satania. Crowd wants a flag. Ball is thrown out of bounds. Toriano Pride have the coverage. Venables pleading his case, looking for a holding call on the Clemson transfer.
Yeah, it looked like just wasn't a lot of room given by Lewis, and you see some contact there, and I can understand why they want the call. I probably would have called it myself because Pride never looked back and tried to play the football. He just played the receiver, and that usually results in a flag.
On 3rd and 10, a flag thrown. Mateer on the run. Diving interception attempt made by Dre Norwood. It's an incomplete pass and a likely holding call against Oklahoma.
On the offense, number 66. The penalties decline.
Derek Simmons, who's come in at right tackle. Starter earlier in the year, now a backup for Coach Venables.
That's not something you'll see very often where the tackles are on an island by themselves. They've said all throughout, hey, we got to help the tackles with tight end presence or with running backs and chip protection. That time, Simmons one-on-one, and he has to grab the jersey.
3rd punt already for Grayson Miller. Kevin Coleman fielded it at the 30 and gets dropped at the 33. 43-yard punt. You're watching the SEC on kickoff your Week 12 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. with the Countdown Crew on ESPN and the all-new app. They'll have the early breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of every game right up to the kickoff. Then cap your NFL week with Monday Night Football at 8. The Carolina Panthers and the San Francisco 49ers. Peyton and Eli's alternate broadcast to be on ESPN2. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6 p.m. How about the Panthers 6-5? Started 1-3, 5-2 since.
Bryce Young really started to reach his potential. I think he went for nearly 500 last week. I saw. Took an L in fantasy as a result.
And Joe Buck on the call, former color commentator for basketball, alongside Mike Kelly, the voice of the Missouri Tigers.
Oh, very good.
And Joe was just starting out in his Hall of Fame career. Bo Prabula has an open receiver and a first down, trying to escape big Joshua Manning. And he powered his way to the 49 for a 17-yard gain.
And this was a nice throw, too. Zone coverage on the back end. It's a little bit of a tight window, but it's well-timed. Just excellent hands there by Manning.
And a few throws have gone well beyond the line of scrimmage. That one goes wide, and the run after the catch by Joshua Manning gets them a first down. 11 more. 14 of it after the catch as he caught it behind the line.
With the attention that Oklahoma is now paying to the run game and the amount of bodies they're attributed to the box, you got to kind of throw them out of it and soften up that coverage.
Back shoulder throw. Prabula. Flag thrown at the end of it. Donovan Olubade, the true freshman, trying to make the catch. The crowd of the Oklahoma sideline hates it if it's against the Sooners.
Number 19, 15-yard penalty from the previous play. Automatic first down.
It's on Jacoby Johnson.
I think it's a good call, though, too, because it looks like Olubade is trying to create some separation. Johnson grabs the right arm and kind of pulls him back inside. You see as the right arm right here, that's where he grabs him. And that's what I think results in the flag, and a good call.
And for the first time all year, Matt Austin agrees with you as he's nodding his head from the Palace in Kentucky.
Broken clock's right twice a day.
Yes. Crowd agitated. It hasn't been a great morning here at Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium for the home team. Roberts carries. Boos continue to rain down.
This is the spot of the field where Brent Venables likes to ramp up the pressure a little bit. Knowing the field goal kicking issues and challenges and inconsistencies, this is where he likes to bring some heat. Likes to bring those linebackers, so always keep your antenna up for pressure as you approach the 20-yard line.
Prabula running out of time on the play clock. Awkward handoff to Hardy. And he got driven back after he reached the 20. Hard-earned 2 yards for the sophomore from Oma, Mississippi. Small town of the southwest corner of the state. Led the state of Mississippi in rushing. Senior in high school, more than 2,200 yards, but had just one FBS offer, was from Louisiana Monroe. Had a prolific freshman year there. Had a lot of people interested in him. And here he is as a Missouri Tiger. One of the semifinalists for the Doak Walker Award as the best running back in the country. Coleman swung out of bounds short of the first down by about 3 yards by Reggie Powers. And Robert Spears Jennings has been back on the field during this defensive possession for Oklahoma.
I think you go for it here. That's about 4th down and 3 or so. At least get up, take a picture, and if you like the look, see if you can get him to jump off sides.
Hardy's the running back. Will they snap it and try to draw him offside? They've been very good on fourth down.
Missouri, they're first.
Eli Drinkwitz wants time to think about it. Fans still voicing their displeasure with the pass interference call. Midway through the second quarter, 3-0 Tigers. You're watching the SEC on ABC. One of 2 games around the country today matching ranked teams. Number 8, Oklahoma, in position to make the college football playoff if they went out against Missouri and LSU. Number 22, Missouri, moved back into the top 25 with a victory last week against Mississippi State. 4th down and 3, the offense back out there.
And I agree with it too. Missouri's been one of the best teams in the country in converting gotta have it situations of 3 and less. They're a top 8 in conversion. Quarterback run has usually been their friend in this scenario, but with a bum ankle, might just lean on their running back, Roberts.
And whistles before the snap.
Prior to the snap, timeout. Oklahoma, they're first. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Brent Venables wants to talk to his defense. Midway through the second quarter, Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy. You know, if you're an Oklahoma fan, you kind of have to feel like you're fortunate to only be down 3-0, don't you? I mean, Missouri has really dominated the game so far.
Yeah, completely. Right now, Oklahoma has 13 offensive snaps for just 17 total yards. They haven't been able to run the ball at all. They have negative yardage rushing. So it's a big down right here for Missouri. I like going for it. Look, the field goal kicking operation has been less than stellar. The offense, however, has been elite in converting down and distances similar to this. So I think I would go for it, but it's looking like they're going to make an adjustment.
And the field goal unit back out there. Robert Meyer, he made a 39-yarder. Even though he hit well behind the ball on this grass field. This is from 35. Light breeze at his back. Shouldn't need it. That one's low. Looked like it got deflected at the line of scrimmage. And now there's a skirmish and flags flying with a pile-up near the 30-yard line. Peyton Bowen, who almost blocked the first field goal that was made by Meyer, did get a piece of that one. Venables right in the face of one of the officials and being restrained by his assistant coaches, really giving it to the back judge.
Looked like there was an Oklahoma player, and it looked like someone else engaged, and the Oklahoma player kind of trucked him near the 25-yard line.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 56 on the defense.
It came well after the field goal was blocked. Grayson Halton called for the penalty. They blocked one last week at the end of the first half. Taylor Wine did for Oklahoma. They need to calm down on that sideline. Emotional game, so much at stake.
And possibly a 7-point penalty here. And this is what was called. As you can see on top the whole time, pushing the helmet up. That's what led to the penalty. And
it's a good call. I mean, he drove him yards down the field and then stayed on top of him. At least I think it was. Matt Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it was the initial action. I think it was the fact that he stayed and climbed back on top of him at the end. But keep an eye on the officials now, because they'll probably start throwing a lot of flags to prevent any of this stuff from escalating.
Well, it really started with some woofing and finger pointing during the coin toss. Oklahoma has the ball. It was well after the play ended. And Xavier Robinson runs for 3. This used to be a big rivalry game. They were conference mates for a long time. They played each other every year from 1919 to 1995. Missouri went on to the SEC. Oklahoma just joined this conference last year, so the rivalry renewed. But a lot of history and not much of it good here in Norman for Missouri. The pass behind Isaiah Satania. And it's incomplete. 3rd and 7.
field goal operation, again, continues to be a little bit problematic. Laces were fine, but they get a piece of it off the right-hand side. They almost got it on the first kick as well, so they need to adjust how they're snapping it and maybe change the count just a hair, because that's twice now off the right side they've had pressure.
I'm not sure you can put that one on Meyer. It looked like he actually made cleaner contact than the one he made. 3rd down and 7. John Mateer throws, caught! There goes the speedy Sategna. One of the fastest players in the country. Touchdown! They came in saying they wanted to be more aggressive, throw the ball deeper down the field, particularly to Sategna. After being dominated for most of this first half, all of a sudden Oklahoma has a 6-3 lead. Tate Sandell makes it 7-3.
This is a combo. It's called lock and combo. So what it is, it's man coverage against the three offensive weapons one-on-one. But when they change spots, you lose leverage immediately. Sategna moves to the outside, then breaks it back across the face of the defender, and there is nothing but green grass out in front of him. Excellent execution, creating a bit of a vapor trail and separation. Accurate throw by Mateer, and it's off to the races for the Sooners.
He was a national caliber track athlete as a sprinter in high school, almost pursued sprinting in college. The former shortstop Mateer adjusting his delivery to get it to Sategna. His dad's a track coach. His mom was an Olympic sprinter for Jamaica. He can fly, and Mateer did a great job to put it in the right place for him. 87 yards, a career-long catch for Sategna, surpassing the 76-yard touchdown he had against Ole Miss here, and it's also the longest pass of Mateer's career.
And that was just unbelievable execution. Knowing you're going to get man coverage from Missouri, you take advantage of it with the Bucs formation, create a big play.
Sandell popped it up, fair catch made by Tavares Jones. Probably a sigh of relief for Ben Arbuckle. Some dissatisfaction, I think, even from Brent Venables. I mean, he was pretty candid with us yesterday that he gave a mandate to the offensive staff to be more aggressive. You know, it kind of felt like because they're so good on defense and special teams, they were playing quote-unquote complementary football, which is usually a good thing. He said, no, we don't want to just sit on the lead and protect it. We want to try to score more points.
Yeah, and if you want to get to the highest levels of the sport, you got to be able to fill it up offensively.
So Missouri down for the first time today, tries to reestablish the run with Ahmad Hardy. And as Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer told us yesterday, they did enough to win at Alabama, even though they had 212 yards. Mateer said, I was told all week, most important thing is don't turn it over.
Right.
And we didn't. They were +3 in the turnover margin against the Tide, and that was the deciding factor.
It always feels like, though, when you watch this Oklahoma offense, there's more in the tank with their weapons and quarterback.
And now Northfleet not only took off early, but he didn't realize he was the only one moving.
Good route, though.
Ball start, number 87 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Kind of goes to show you how loud it is in here. Can't even hear the whistles, but I mean, look at the route. You set it up, you adjust off the fly. He's like, oh, I'm wide open. Oh, no. Got a quick start.
The Palace has come to life. 6 minutes to go in the half. In a have-to-have-it game for Oklahoma. Prabula slides down. Very late flag thrown after he went sliding down. The officials have been very busy here in the first half. This will be the 9th penalty.
Holding, number 77. Replay, second down.
Curtis Piegler, the right guard, part of an offensive line that's been rock solid for Missouri this year.
And you can always tell the guilty party. Watch as soon as he finishes the run, watch his head turn around and look for the official. 77's right there. Where is he? Where's he? They didn't see me, right? Oh, yeah. Saw you and got it. Another big mistake from Mizzou.
Their 4th penalty. Oklahoma's been flagged 5 times. And then important penalties on both sides. 2nd and 22. Pribula slings it under duress, incomplete. Owen Heineke came on a blitz. Joshua Manning the target of the pass. And Missouri with 3rd and 22, 0 for its last 5 on 3rd down. Not a lot on the call sheet for Kirby Moore for 3rd and 22.
Yeah, I mean, screen's about all you got. I mean, unless you want to hand it off, that's fine too. But screen, hope you can maybe break one. But you cannot continue to live off schedule with self-inflicted penalties.
Now one of those situations when perhaps they're staying in the huddle, so the play clock goes under 15 and the communication gets shut off on both sides. Venables can't directly communicate into the helmet of the defense. They snapped it and run. Pribula lost the ball, and he's down in the arms of Taylor Wine, back at the 4. They are going in reverse here in the 2nd quarter. That's a 9-yard loss.
Perhaps a little rust here from Pribula. It's an RPO, so you can hand it inside. That's what Roberts is expecting. Instead, Pribula decides to take the quick throw to the left, but his running back knocks it out as he's trying to release the ball.
They're broken up by Jamal Roberts. From the back line of the end zone, Wesselman, not a good punt. Lands at the 35 and is out right there. Momentum has turned to Venables' side. Here's Kevin Nagandi.
Sean, thank you so much. Capital One halftime report minutes away. Booger McFarland, Kevin Nagandi in studio. Number 3, Texas A&M back on track, looking really good, as well as Georgia. We got highlights coming their way. Meanwhile, the number 1 team in the country, Ohio State, they've got Michigan next week, and they have this game against Rutgers without their 2 number 1 and number 2 targets, and Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. No problem, though, Booger.
Anytime you don't have your best receivers run the football, Ohio State driving right now up 7-3, Kev.
Love the name. That is Bo Jackson, the freshman in the end zone. It's just 7-3. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. They mark the ball at the 35-yard line. John Mateer dancing around, running out of time, got rid of it to avoid the sack, threw in the direction of Xavier Robinson. Sterling Webb applied pressure on the redshirt junior from Little Elm, Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Mateer's got to be a little more decisive against this pass rush. That time, he looked like he had a guy open in the flat, decided to hold it a little bit too long, and paid the price. Got hit hard at the end of that play.
Now an edge in total yards for Oklahoma, but 87 of those 107 on the touchdown. Mateer run down from behind after a gain of 1. Jalen Catalon, playing in his 7th season of college football, the 24-year-old safety.
What a luxury for Oklahoma, knowing you're already in field goal range, so don't do anything to make this field goal tougher for Tate Sandell.
Little flinch along the defensive line. It's a free play for Oklahoma. In the flat, Robinson runs over the defender Catalon. The play goes to the 29. They would take the penalty, you would think.
Offside on the defense, number 8. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
Penalty's a killer for Coach Drinkwitz. Born here in Norman 42 years ago. Lived here just for years. Family moved to Arkansas. He's from Alma, Arkansas. Done a terrific job here over 6 years. The last 3, they're 28-8. The 11th best winning percentage in the country. Kanak went in motion. Mateer looked in his direction, got it off, and a stumbling lunge for a first down for Xavier Robinson. A 6-yard gain.
This is a great job here by John Mateer. He knows who he has to pitch it off of, but he takes his time. He forces the defender to commit. As soon as he does, then you get the shovel pass underneath, and you pick up the 3rd down conversion.
Robinson remains the running back. Single coverage. Crowd begging for a flag against Dre Norwood as he had the coverage on Dion Burks. No flag.
And Mateer's got to put a little more air under his deep ball. This ball is very, very flat. You don't have a ton of room, but you need to at least give your receiver a chance. There was a lot of contact there on the outside. They could very easily could have and probably should have been called. But if you give him a chance by underthrowing it, then you have a much more likely chance of getting the DPI.
On 2nd and 10, well within field goal range. Open receiver, but a high throw. And it took Giovanni Gibson out of bounds.
Fresh bodies coming on now for Missouri on an obvious passing situation, and you always have to be accounting for John Mateer's legs. He's very effective, so if you get too aggressive with your pass rush, that quarterback draw or quarterback scramble can kill you.
Previous plays under video review. The ruling on the field was a pass was incomplete.
They look to be pretty clearly out of bounds from here, but there's undoubtedly a reason David Allman stopped it. So we shall see.
Great catch with one hand, but did a that left toe a little closer.
I think he's just trying to see if the left toe came down before the other foot was out of bounds.
Exactly what time, too, from the progressive pylon cam, you get a look at it. Ball is secured right there. I don't know. It's very close. But when does he possess the ball, right? It's still moving just a hair.
I'm not even sure that other foot is in bounds by the time he caught it.
I mean, the ball right there still moving, moving.
That's out of bounds. He doesn't have possession.
Yeah. Great effort.
Yeah. The ball is in his hand, but then it kind of slides down. Let's bring in the expert Matt Austin. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you, Sean. I don't think this is considered firm control. The ball is still moving in the one hand before he tucks it away, and both feet seem to hit almost simultaneously. So I would be surprised if they overturn this.
Now, we talked about the history here for Missouri, hoping this call goes their way, and it should, we think. So we mentioned, Greg, they used to play all the time. Missouri hasn't won here since 1966. They have lost 18 in a row here in Norman. We have to go all the way back to the great Dan Devine. A 10-7 win over a Sooner team in '66, coached by Jim McKenzie. His only year as the head coach, he was replaced the next year by the great Chuck Fairbanks. But even though they haven't met much in recent years, they did play last year in Columbia. They're well aware of the history. Nobody more than Eli Drinkwitz. Mentioned he was born here. He still has a lot of relatives in the Norman area. His mom Susie is here. And he read us a text his mom sent to the relatives last night. Please do not wear Oklahoma gear in the Missouri section where Eli is giving you the tickets. They had a problem last year at Arkansas when a lot of their relatives there showed up for the game against the Razorbacks in Razorback gear.
Yeah, imagine that. The head coach gives you the tickets and you decide to wear the visiting team uniform and colors there in the head coach's section. Pretty wild.
Then we did ask Eli, are you sure your mom's cheering for your team? I'm pretty sure. He is a funny guy, a very smart guy. Out of Arkansas Tech, where he was the student body president. Got into coaching as a 7th grade coach back at Alma, Arkansas, the spinach capital of the world. There's the
After
call.
video review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Third down.
That took way longer than it should have. And that's ridiculously long. Especially if they hadn't stopped it at all, I don't think anybody on that Oklahoma sideline would have complained.
Probably not. And to add an extra boost to it is that now these pass rushers in an obvious passing situation, they're fresh. They just had a 45-second rest.
Third down and 10.
A lot of cushion down here in the slot. Close that up.
3 out of 6 on third down, but 0 for 3 on 3rd and 10 plus. Mateer skipping toward the marker, past it, and then banged out of bounds by Josiah Trotter. But a 15-yard run for the gritty John Mateer.
And great recognition, too. You have 6 defenders in the box, which means it's a great look to run the ball by bringing Kanak in and the running back as well. So you have 7 guys blocking against 6 guys in the box. Big advantage, and on 3rd and 10, they cash in.
They are perfect in the red zone this season. Have scored on all 32 trips now. Touchdown, Javonte Gibson. After the short punt. Gibson, his first touchdown catch as an Oklahoma Sooner. Transfer from Arkansas Pine Bluff. And Tate Sandell makes it 14-3 with 2:22 to go till halftime.
And great eyes by John Mateer here, reading the secondary on the RPO. You watch him, he's seeing this defender the entire way, which means as soon as that defender hesitates and the receiver wins inside, you know you have a green light to throw it high in the back of the end zone. They do it beautifully, and you can see it really here. Look at the eyes of Mateer, that red stripe down that helmet, exactly where it needs to be, and a great job, too, on the outside by Gibson, winning inside. Because if he gets forced to the outside, there's a broken play, but him winning inside against Norwood allows for the space and separation and the quarterback to deliver the ball.
To Gibson, big target at 6'2", 211. Mentioned from Arkansas Pine Bluff, but Arkansas Monticello before that. And at 70 catches at Arkansas Pine Bluff last year, was a second-team FCS All-American. It started so well for Coach Drinkwitz, Bo Pribula, and the Tigers. The game has taken a dramatic turn, starting with the 87-yard touchdown Mateer to Satania. They're going to try to return this kick. Tavares Jones down at the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at who's bringing the heat. Brought to you by Sonic.
Well, it all started with the special teams getting a piece of the field goal after they decided not to go for it on 4th and 3. They answer quickly on a 3rd down to Satania. Takes it to the house, 87 yards to take the lead. And then after a nice stand defensively, they pay it off a couple moments later with Mateer finding Gibson in the back of the end zone. I mean, this game has flipped immediately from being all Missouri to now all Oklahoma in the waning parts of the second quarter.
Bo Pribula throws it out to an open Lubade, who shoved out of bounds at the 38th for an 18-yard completion of the freshman from Chicago, who went to IMG Academy in Florida and was a top 100 recruit.
That was a beautiful throw there by Pribula, layering it over a defender.
And it's the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout.
14-3. Oklahoma on top. A couple of touchdown passes for John Mateer today. 2 minutes to go, first half here in Norman, Oklahoma. Missouri led 3-0. They had a 4th down and 3 at the 17 going in midway through the second quarter. Lined up to go for the 4th down after an Oklahoma timeout. Eli Drinkwitz changed his mind despite the fact they've been good on 4th downs this year and bad kicking field goals. And the game is turned on that play. They tried the field goal. It was blocked. 14 zip for OU since. Pribula takes off running, has Roberts blocking in front of him. He gets chopped down just shy of the line to gain. A 9-yard pickup for Pribula, who was more of a runner than a thrower when he came into games off the bench at Penn State. Michael Boganowski made the tackle. The check down, good for a first down to the 48 of Oklahoma. Roberts the catch, 5-yard gain, 1:36. The clock stopped. 2 timeouts for Mizzou going very quickly, but they have to wait. Norfleet is slow coming back to the line of scrimmage.
And he was way downfield.
Here's Roberts again. To the 45. Gain of 3.
Don't have to be in hyper speed yet, but there does need to be some urgency, and you can favor the sideline too. At some point, I want to take a shot if you get a one-on-one at the top.
Sticking with Roberts. He stays in the block. Open receiver caught. Joshua Manning out of bounds at the 25 with 20 more for Mizzou and a first down.
And that was a really nice and decisive throw there from Pribula. Saw it in the bunch, saw the receiver open immediately, got rid of it quickly for a big play. The spot here with the formation into the boundary. 3 wide receivers into the boundary is where you can get one-on-ones with safeties, and you love that matchup if you're the quarterback.
Quick hitter, Coleman, plenty of room on the catch. He's down inside the 10. Boganowski the tackle. 18-yard gain. They probably don't have to go quite as quickly now, but they have the Oklahoma defense on its heels, so they're attacking. Roberts went down inbounds at the 5. And decision for Drinkwitz to use the timeouts or no. He's not going to use it now. Plenty of time this close. And with 2 timeouts in his pocket.
Yeah, certainly don't need to. And the guy that they favor here in the red zone is Norfleet, the tight end. He's lined up at the top, or lined up in the slot down here at the bottom.
And with his defense scrambling, Brent Venables uses another timeout.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
The first timeout was useful for Coach Venables.
Please reset the game clock to 28 seconds.
The field goal team came on for Missouri instead of the 4th down try after Venables called his first timeout.
And the beauty here now with 2 timeouts remaining for Missouri, you have your whole playbook. You don't have to resort to the air. You can run it 2 times. And based on their tendencies inside the 12-yard line, I've seen 37 rush attempts from Missouri and only 4 pass attempts. They are a heavy, heavy run team as the field condenses. But quarterback run has been a big part of what they do as they get close to the end zone. And with Pribula's ankle, are they going to try to do that, or they opt to go a little wildcat, which they do have in their package?
First game in 4 weeks for Pribula. Suffered a non-fractured dislocated right ankle at Vanderbilt. Very fortunate it wasn't fractured. That only happens about 1% of the time. Had it been a fracture, he would have been out for the year, including a bowl game. It got snapped to Roberts, and he got stood up at the 3-yard line. Owen Heineke, part of the Soder defense that drove big Jamal Roberts back. Hardy's been on the sideline, the nation's leading rusher. Roberts is a better receiver and apparently a little better in pass protection as well, with a lot of throws on this drive.
And that was the look right there, kind of a wildcat presentation, a direct snap. Can go to again here. But where they've had most of their success has been outside the tackle. So if you want to run it again, I suggest running it with a sweep to the right-hand side. When in doubt, they've favored the right side of the offensive line. They feel like that's the stronger of the 2. So if they want to run it, maybe something outside the tackles. behind the outstanding transfer Trost, the right tackle.
Your left tackle's Caden Green, who's a transfer from Oklahoma. Number 70. He was a second-team preseason AP All-American. Hardy is back on the field. 3rd and goal from the 3. 23 seconds to go in the half, and a timeout for each team on a 50-degree day here in Norman. Pribula under center. And a timeout called by OU. A new look. Mentioned Pribula fortunate it wasn't fractured. That's highly unusual given he was tackled by big, strong football players. And he was also lucky. Clay Nully, one of the great team doctors from Mizzou, was able to pop his dislocated ankle right back in place on the field at Vanderbilt right after it happened, which helped the healing process.
Absolutely incredible. And to think he's back, too. I mean, we were watching that game live. All of us were just totally beside ourselves, disappointed to see the guy's had a great year go down in pain. So for him to be back this quickly says a lot about his determination, the medical staff of Mizzou.
Yeah, and to say I'm ready to go against this defense, which attacks you with regularity, is one of the best in the country. He's a competitor. He wanted to play as soon as he could. And he's trying to lead an upset victory on the road where they haven't won since 1966. Hardy chopped down at the line of scrimmage by Michael Boganowski. And Missouri used the timeout.
And a great play here by Boganowski. Looks like there's going to be some room. It looks like there's going to be an opportunity. There's one guy that has to make the play for Oklahoma. And he comes up and delivers a big hit to stop Ahmad Hardy in his tracks. It's exactly what we thought. A run outside tackle to the right side. Oklahoma was ready for it, and they make the stand.
Boganowski, a hard hitter. I remember earlier in the year when we were here for a game, Brent Venable said he tackles you like he's trying to take away your soul.
He did there, too. Almost took away the sole of the shoe he wrapped up so well on the bottom.
So the field goal team is coming on again. I'm really surprised. The first one barely got through. The second one was blocked. Oliver Robbins has come in now. Usually he tries the longer field goals. With Meyer not making great contact, they'll give him what would ordinarily be a chip shot, and he drives it through. From 21, so they make it a one-score game. Lost their kicker in the opener. It's been an adventure since.
There from Eli Drinkwitz, just thinking to himself, hey, had a great drive here, end of half. They get the ball coming out, have to get something. To go down 11 points, I think, would have been difficult to try to keep morale at halftime. So I think opting just to take 3 makes some sense. But like you said, a little more conservative than you'd anticipate.
Yeah, I think the first one was more questionable than that one. But when we talk about the physicality of these two teams, your success on short yardage situations all year, the strength of your team is running the football. You haven't kicked field goals well. He laughed about the field goal kicking last night. A little surprised, I am, but
for sure.
I also think he's quite obviously established himself as one of the best coaches in the country. His name has come up now in a lot of the speculation with all these open jobs. I think there's perception he and so many others are just waiting for Lane Kiffin to decide what he's going to do, and apparently that's going to happen next Saturday after the Egg Bowl. But Eli Drinkwitz told us last night, I'm very happy where I am. I'm not in any big hurry to leave. Certainly not about the financial decisions, as he said, when you make $9 million a year. More about where do you have the best chance to win. Satania, the fair catch of the kickoff. There's the Taco Bell Live Más student section. Only one student section can claim the title of Liv Moss Student Section of the Year. Who will take home the trophy? Why does it have to be one? What if we have a tie? Just give tacos to everybody.
No, it's not a participation trophy.
Oh, it should be.
No.
And maybe we could, match it with Dos Equis. Then you could have 2 Dos winners. Interesting play here. Deion Burks takes off with the ball. It was a fast-moving half with that long drive to open the game for Missouri. Then both teams used all of their timeouts. And Brent Venables trying to take a step closer to the college football playoff. Runs to the locker room with a 14-6 lead. And here's Molly with Coach Venables.
Coach, your defense kept them out of the end zone at the end of the half. What did you say to your group before that stand?
Can't let them pass the 50 in the first place. Just we got to help them out a little better there. Not a good drive, but great response there at the end to keep them out and force the field goal.
Yeah, it was a slow start for your team, but they responded. What did you like about the resilience you saw in that first half?
Yeah, it's who we've been all year. So just keep being who we've been. And again, this is going to be a hell of a game. So get ready to come in here and again, play your butt off for 60 minutes. Missouri's a very good football team. Take care of the ball, be physical, be great. We've been really good on third downs on defense. So now we got to force some turnovers.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Sean.
We can tell you his voice is not like that on Fridays when we meet. Very animated. And his team a reflection of their coach. Play with a lot of heart. 14-6. Oklahoma leading Missouri. Let's send you to the studio now for the Capital One halftime report with Booger McFarland. Here's Kevin Nagandi.
John, thank you so much. Oklahoma up 14.
You're watching the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
And you're watching the SEC on ABC, presented by Starbucks. From Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium in Norman. Number 8 Oklahoma leading 22nd ranked Missouri 14-6 at the half. Some chirping before the game started. It was physical as you might expect when these two teams get together. Missouri had a 3-0 lead, but then they had a field goal block that turned momentum against Eli Drinkwitz's team. John Mateer a couple of touchdown passes, 87 of those 145 yards in the second quarter for Oklahoma came on Mateer's pass to Isaiah Satania. Brent Venables' team had the ball for 8.5 minutes, but has a 14-6 lead, and will get the ball first to start the second half. After a touchback, today's unstoppable performance is brought to us by Ram Trucks.
Well, it was all 4th and 3, and Eli Drinkwitz decided after a couple timeouts to send his field goal unit out there. It gets blocked, and then a couple plays later, John Mateer finds Satania across the middle, and he was out the gate for that 87-yard touchdown. A little later on, RPO, beautifully done, reads the defender and hits Gibson in the back of the end zone to give the Sooners an 11-point lead.
Mateer just 8 out of 17 passing for 2 touchdowns and 124 yards. It's a lot of big gainers on the completions. Crowd screaming for his face mask, and I think they're going to get it as Robinson was taken down.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. Number 7. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
McClellan grabs the face mask with his right hand as Robinson was trying to burst up the field, and a tough start for the Missouri defense.
3-yard gain, 15 more on the 6th penalty of the game against Missouri. Oklahoma out to the 43-yard line. Trying to go to 9-2 and take a step closer to the college football playoff. Mateer launching one down the sideline, and just a step too long for Deion Burks. Sean McDonough with Greg McElroy. Delighted to have you with us for the start of this triple header of SEC action on ABC. What do you look for here in the second half?
I think Oklahoma needs to find a way to get the run game going a little bit. Both their running backs a little banged up, so I would anticipate Mateer factoring in there as well. And they got to hit one or two of those throws downfield because they're there. They just haven't hit them. And then for Missouri, they got to get back to running the football as well.
Play action pass zipped by Mateer to Isaiah Satania for a first down to the Missouri 42. Here's Molly McGrath.
Well, I talked to Mizzou head coach Eli Drinkwitz about that shift in momentum after that blocked field goal and long touchdown from Isaiah Satania, and he really tried to calm his team down in the locker room, told his offense to settle down.
Xavier Robinson breaks one tackle. Khalil Jacobs whiffed, and then Stephen Hall made the tackle, even though he got run over a bit by the powerful Robinson, who picked up 10.
Very rare to see the Missouri defense miss tackles. They're one of the best in the country when it comes to getting the ball carrier on the ground. But Robinson, you could see why he got thrust into the lineup, became the lead back a couple weeks ago. He's very powerful in the open field.
He's 239 pounds at just 6 feet tall. He stays in the game. They faked the handoff. Mateer kept it after faking to Satania. Mateer picked up 2. Nate Johnson made the tackle out of a deep defensive front. He should be well rested. He was ejected for targeting in the first quarter last week against Mississippi State. They also lost Josiah Trotter, their leading tackler, for targeting in the second quarter. Mateer got hit on the boundary by Trotter. That was very close to being out of bounds. But no uproar on the sideline. Some of the fans didn't like it.
And it did look like Mateer was in bounds when the hit was initiated, so I can understand the no call there. And
it definitely was. I mean, he's engaged with him well in bounds.
And Mateer needs to be a little more careful, too. You don't want to take that unnecessary contact.
Third down and 4. They're 4 out of 7 on third down. They've converted their last 3. Mateer trying to get somebody to go in motion. Finally, Deion Burks does. Now they had to use a timeout. Opening possession of the second half. The Sooners trying to build on a 14-6 lead against their old friends, the Missouri Tigers. Back in Norman, Oklahoma for the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week. Oklahoma leading 14-6. They've moved the opening possession of this second half down to the Missouri 26-yard line. Here's the 7th play of the drive, 3rd down and 4. With one of the best field goal kickers in the country, but they'd like to extend this drive with a first down.
They've used quarterback run before against a favorable box count, but this time it looks like a lot of Missouri defenders in there, so I try to find Satania in the slot up top.
Mateer hesitated, and he who hesitates is lost. Zion Young there to swing him down with help from Damon Wilson. It's a 2-yard loss, and here comes the field goal team.
And he's trying to work Satania, but this is really well done defensively by Dalen Carnell. He jumps inside of Satania, who's running a slant, and that talks Mateer off the slot slant throw, and it results in a sack.
So here's Tate Sandell's at a record-setting year. Missed his first kick as a Sooner against Michigan. He's made 21 straight. That is the school record. It's the second longest streak in SEC history. And those of you who believe in the announcer jinx, remember that one. He's now 6 behind Will Reichert of Alabama's record for most consecutive field goals among SEC kickers. Will made 28 in a row.
Just automatic, too. The laces straight back. A good job by the holder, flipping them all the way around. And Sandell drains it again.
Egan Vomit at 5'9", 182 pounds. Likely on his way to being the first Lou Groza Award winner in school history. He needs one more 50-yard plus field goal to tie the single season FBS record set by the great Fuad Revez of Tennessee back in 1982. Of course, Fuad went on to have a 10-year NFL career with Miami and Minnesota. He hasn't had a 50-yard try yet today. He's made 7 50-yard field goals plus this season. That is the Oklahoma career record. He's done it in 1 year. And it's 3 more 50-yard field goals than any other kicker in the country this year. I like his chances of that Lou Groza award.
I think he's a lock.
And the average make has been 42 yards. So he's not making one after another of the chip shots. His average make of the 22 in a row has been 42 yards.
Think about how close some of those games have been, too. I mean, without his performance against Tennessee or Alabama, they might not win the game. So, I mean, he has single-handedly contributed to victories this year. You don't say that very often for a kicker.
We see it over and over again in college football, particularly in this conference. So many one-score games. And the kicker is critically important. And Sandell kicks the touchback. The defense isn't bad either.
Well, they've done a great job of adjusting. If you try to defend Missouri, you're going to have your hands full. What you have to do is you have to attack Missouri, and that's what they did after the first drive. You see Owen Heineke here. The linebacker run through, sees a gap, runs through it, makes the play behind the line of scrimmage. Critical 3rd and goal. Boganowski in because Spears Jennings been a little banged up. He's unblocked. The one guy that has to make the play, and he does. They have become much more aggressive after the first drive, and it's led to much better and consistent defensive performance.
Leading the nation in tackles for loss per game. And now leading sacks as well. They were one behind A&M to start the day. 3-yard gain for Ahmad Hardy. 6 points allowed in the first half for Oklahoma. They've given up 75 first half points in 11 games, by far the fewest in the SEC. Alabama has given up 88 first half points.
Pretty amazing, too. And when you think just how aggressive this group is, I think it takes offenses a while to kind of figure them out. By that point, it might be too late.
Bo Pribula in his return is 11 out of 15, most of them short throws. This is longer, all kinds of contact, and a flag thrown. Donovan Olubade was the intended receiver. Eli Bowen was there for the Sooners.
Pass interference on the defense, number 23. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Trying to challenge the 5'9" Bowen on the outside with Olubade, who's got great length, and you see the left hand grabbing, and Olubade's trying to push off, but on an underthrown deep ball, it's so hard on the defender because the receiver can see it, he can adjust to it, and oftentimes the defender has no choice but to grab a piece of him.
Bowen had a huge play in their win at Alabama last weekend, an 87-yard interception return for a touchdown. The OU defense has scored a touchdown in each of the previous 2 games. From the 43 out of the pistol, Bo Pribula fake to Ahmad Hardy. He's going deep. That ball's underthrown and incomplete. Trying to get it to Marquise Johnson, who got behind the defense, including Eli's brother Peyton Bowen.
This ball way underthrown, and it forces the speedster Johnson to try to come back and make a play on it, but that time I feel like Bowen did a better job, not the same Bowen, a better job of trying to play the ball. Look at his eyes all the way through. He's trying to play the ball. That's why it didn't result in the flag, and it was nearly intercepted.
And also nearly caught at the very end by Johnson, their second leading receiver out of Dickinson, Texas. Hardy, nothing doing. Taylor Wine on his way to all conference honors, and now more pushing and shoving. Keegan Trost in the middle of it, the tackle. David Stone runs off for Oklahoma. He's fired up.
Trost right there trying to protect his guy, and kind of good with the no call there. It did look like Stone was going a little long, and Trost trying to protect.
I wouldn't think this rivalry has skipped some beats in recent years. It's like they play each other every year. as they used to. Joshua Manning's down across midfield, but short of the first down. And Eli Drinkwitz will ponder this fourth down and along two. Kirby Moore, the offensive coordinator, won't have to make a play call. The punt team comes on.
Yeah, if you're Oklahoma, though, I would keep my antenna up. I mean, a fake punt here, knowing that it's possible go territory anyways, just be aware.
Wesselman does punt it. Fair catch made by Satania. 40-yard punt for the graduate student from Atlanta. The defense fired up. They got off to a slow start today, but they have picked it up and then some for the Sooners.
ABC College Football, presented by Starbucks, is brought to you by Ram Trucks, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff. Nothing stops Ram.
Sooner Schooner rolling, one of the great traditions in college football, hoping Oklahoma rolls on to its 9th win. Trying to get to 9-2 and take another step toward the college football playoff. They moved up 3 spots to number 8. They'd be in the playoff if it started right now, but of course it doesn't. But if they win today and win against LSU here next weekend, they are a virtual lock to be in the field. John Mateer, after the fake, keeps and scampers out across the 16-yard line for a gain of 7. Tristan Newsom made the tackle for Missouri. Newsom had a huge play in the game between these two teams last year in Columbia. Mateer escapes to his right, and with pressure coming from Josiah Trotter, he threw it away. Last year they were tied in the final half minute of the game, and Newsom had a strip sack of Jackson Arnold, and it was picked up by Zion Young and run in for a 17-yard touchdown with 22 seconds to go to give Missouri a wild win. (30-23) was the final. 3rd down and 2. Xavier Robinson looked like he might be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Instead, he's still going. And a first down for Oklahoma at the 23. That's a gain of 5.
This is a nice run here by Robinson, too. It's a big 3rd down for Mizzou, getting off the field, justifying their coach's decision to punt. Instead, Robinson looked like he was stopped initially, jumps through the hole, and surges forward through Trotter for a big conversion.
On first down, Mateer to the sideline to Cannick. Stayed in bounds. And finally out of bounds at the 40-yard line for a 17-yard gain and another first down.
What footwork there by Cannick. The converted linebacker to tight end has not been as much of the offense recently. Still very effective in the run game, but man, how about the footwork on the sideline, giving himself just enough room to cut back inside.
Second catch for Cannick from his good pal Mateer. Xavier Robinson, more than midway through the 3rd quarter now, picks up 3.
Oklahoma just needs to continue to chip away. They've been a big play run team all throughout the season. As far as the down in, down out production, not great running the football, but it feels like at any moment they could bust one with how aggressive Missouri's been along the front.
Again, very little from Torrey Blaylock today. Both he and Robinson have been battling injuries. Blaylock's had only 11 carries. in the last 3 games. Robinson got within 2 of the first down. Blaylock was terrific at the beginning of the year as a true freshman. Ben Arbuckle told us yesterday Robinson got hurt and missed just about all the fall camp, and he's clearly not feeling great as he comes off to the sideline here. And had he stayed healthy, he would have been the featured back. So here's Blaylock back in. They're 4 for the last 5 on 3rd down. 5 out of 9 for the game. They need 2. Mateer, deep ball, single coverage, and Satania couldn't run under it. Dalen Carnell had the coverage. Satania is already over 100 yards receiving for the game with 109 on 3 catches.
And this is one I thought Satania was going to grab. He jumped just a little bit too early as the ball just sailed ever so slightly over his fingertips. And man, that's a very, very close play that you'd love your receiver to lay out and try to make a play on.
Quarterbacks always blaming it on the receivers.
Well, if it hits the hands, that's a drop, right? No? Maybe. Sometimes.
I think the receivers would say if the quarterback put it in a little bit better spot, you wouldn't have to lunge for it. Grayson Miller's punt goes out of bounds. Just in the nick of time for Greg, who was about to thoroughly lose the argument. Just a 30-yard punt. Under 6 to go, 3rd quarter. 17-6, Oklahoma. They need to win out, including Friday night against Texas A&M, a game we'll have for you in prime time. And then hope for a lot of help. Chaos ahead of them. A lot of teams behind the Oklahoma Sooners in the CFP rankings cheering for Missouri today. That gap in time of possession is narrowing. And more than 8 minutes of possession on the opening drive of the game that ended in a field goal. Bo Pribula spun down after a gain of 1. Here's Molly.
Well, Sooners DN's coach Miguel Chavis coaches with passion and intensity, guys, firing up his group to take away opportunities on the edge, keep their running backs from turning the corner and gaining confidence. And he wanted them to lock in on the fact that Ahmad Hardy is at a relatively quiet day, warning them not to let him get momentum. So they're keying in on stopping Hardy here, guys.
And they've done it very well. It seems Hardy isn't getting the ball much lately. He's rushed for just 53 yards. Pribula incomplete for Joshua Manning. Eli Bowen had the coverage.
Referenced it. I mean, Hardy in the first 7 carries, he had 42 yards, 6 yards per. In the last 7, he has just 11 yards. So they have done a great job on the edges of this defense, coached by Coach Chavis, setting that edge and not allowing them to get outside the tackles where big yardage is there to be had.
They're 0 for their last 8 on 3rd down. With 3 on the play clock. Quick pass incomplete, intended for Norfleet. And Brent couldn't hang on. Brent was hit by Robert Spears Jennings. Players rave about Miguel Chavis. We talked to Taylor Wine, who's a much improved player. He gives a lot of the credit to Coach Chavis, and he also said he is a great role model off the field. Chavis played at Clemson. It's about a lot more than coaching football here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of life lessons, and it's Venables who sets the tone. He grew up in awful circumstances. It's made him a very empathetic head coach. Satania makes the fair catch of a very short punt, just 30 yards from Wesselman. Venables, 54 years old. Grew up in Salina, Kansas. His dad left he and his family when he was basically an infant. And he endured a very rocky childhood, 4 stepdads, many of them abusive and alcoholic, and wound up at K-State as a walk-on. Very proud of his mom. She persevered, and later in life put herself through college to get a nursing degree. And he is a remarkable study in perseverance. Mateer, his quarterback, rolls and almost intercepted. Los Phillips got his hands on it.
Looked like Phillips almost timed that jump perfectly to go up and snag it. And very fortunate that he wasn't able to for Mateer, who rolled the dice there and almost failed.
A couple of great stories online about Brent Venables' upbringing. I would encourage you to find them. But really remarkable. Went to Kansas State as a walk-on out of community college, recruited by Bob Stoops, who was an assistant at K-State at the time, to Bill Snyder. And Venables really credits Stoops and Snyder for his development. Kind of said Owen Heineke reminds him of himself. We talked about his story earlier, just fighting for playing time. Venables went there as a walk-on, was frustrated that he never got any. He asked Jim Levitt, the linebacker coach, what do I need to do extra? He said, why don't you run the stairs in the stadium with your uniform on? Some of his teammates laughed at that, but an injury opened the door. He became a terrific linebacker at 124 tackles his senior year, and then pestered Bill Snyder every day. They had an open GA job, graduate assistant job. He said, I knocked on the door every day. Because Bob Stoops encouraged me to do it. Mateer goes down. Finally, Bill Snyder said, we give the opportunity, interim basis, no pay for 6 months. And Bob Stoops told him, that's a bunch of crap. You should tell him you want to get the... And he's like, nope, nope, nope. I just want the opportunity. He took it and run with it. Coached under Stoops here at Oklahoma for many years. Went on to Clemson. One of the best assistant coaches there in the country. It's probably not a coincidence their program has fallen off a bit since he left. What an impressive man he is.
He is. And I think his ability to relate to the player, meet them where they're at. And you can always tell the relationship that a coach has with his team by how hard they play for him. And it's always on display when you watch the Sooners.
The punt by Grayson Miller goes into the end zone. You know, and Venables talks about you have 100+ players in your program, and you know a lot of them have endured or are enduring similar things that he endured, and we just barely scratched the surface. And telling you his life story, we really appreciate how open he was with us yesterday. But there's an intensity and there's a drive that comes from his past.
Yeah, and it's on display. I mean, there's something about leaving it all out there, taking your chance, shooting your shot, and he does it all the time. It's remarkable, and it made us understand him so much more, how he doesn't take 1 second for granted. But he's the head coach at Oklahoma, and man alive, did the players respond to his energy.
Players love him. Man after man talks about how he sets the tone. Ahmad Hardy runs for 4. So he said when it was 3-0 Missouri, it felt like Oklahoma was fortunate to be that close. Now it kind of feels like Missouri's fortunate they're down by 11, and it's getting to the time where they need to do something on offense. They cannot get the leading rusher in the country going. Hardy bounced off the hit of Heineke, turned it into a gain to the 25.
One thing you haven't seen from Missouri in the last few drives is that naked bootleg. They've really done a great job of, in the secondary from Oklahoma, coming up and stopping the run. At some point, they need to fool them and get that bootleg out the backside.
They're 0 for their last 9 on 3rd down. Pribula with room. That's deflected and almost intercepted. Heineke got his hands on it. There is a flag down.
Ball was tipped, though, so if it is a pass interference, that the ball being tipped, contact's allowed. I'm sure they're discussing that now.
Yes, and that's what Venables was signaling, as are the fans.
Big hit. It was a big hit, though, on the intended receiver, and they could be talking about all sorts of things.
Personal foul with targeting number 13 on the defense. Previous play on the video review.
And that's it, because it's a defenseless player, whether it's tipped or not. And you need an indicator for targeting. Well, an indicator is a launch or a drop of the helmet, and with Coleman being defenseless, that drop of the helmet is an indicator, and I think it's the correct call.
It's Reggie Powers. Matt Austin's had a couple of looks at it. Here comes another. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, Sean, I agree with Greg 100%. He goes out of his way to launch and get up into the head area. Definitely goes helmet to helmet. As Greg said, defenseless. This should be an easy targeting, confirmed.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to get out of the game and have been for several years now.
It's really just unnecessary, too, to launch. I mean, the ball's tipped up, and just a big mistake.
After video review, the foul for targeting is upheld. Number 13 is disqualified.
It's now a couple first downs given to the Missouri offense by way of 15-yard penalties on Oklahoma. It's a huge mistake.
It's a good call. Crowd's going crazy, but they're seeing it through crimson-colored glasses or don't understand the rules. But fans in every other stadium in the country would have reacted the exact same way.
No doubt about it.
2.5 to go, third quarter. After the penalty, Pribula going deep, and it is intercepted by Jacoby Johnson.
Receiver is motioning across. There's nobody to hold the flat, so you just see the defender dropping out underneath it the whole way. There's nothing keeping him down there underneath. He's able to play the over route from the very beginning and go up and make a play on the ball. Just a really poor read from Pribula trying to force one there.
Second interception of the year for Johnson, junior from Mustang, Oklahoma. Xavier Robinson. Ahead for 3. They went through the first 4 games of the season without a takeaway, despite playing outstanding defense. They've had 7 now in the last 3 games.
It really felt like it was a matter of time, too. I mean, they had so many balls that just didn't bounce their way in that first half 8 games of the season. Now they're making all the plays.
And that's been a huge difference maker. 3 takeaways each in the wins at Tennessee and at Alabama. Defensive touchdown in each of those games. Caden Helms the catch, their backup tight end, for 6 yards and a first down.
And those quick throws into the flat have been there really all throughout the game. They've got nice run after catch as well, so they can continue to just lean on that if Missouri's playing soft on the outside.
Mateer to the 38-yard line. If you're Oklahoma, is it too early to start taking a little more time snapping the ball?
I think you can take your time. They have played pretty well with the tempo stuff, but with how Missouri is now having to stop the run and they're starting to get that going, you see the line of scrimmage getting reestablished a little bit more consistently in favor of Oklahoma. I kind of slow it down and lean on your big physical run game.
And keep it on the ground with Robinson. Hasn't been a prolific rushing day again today for Oklahoma. Just 51 yards on the ground. That one got 6. Put it in a 3rd down and short. A long one for Ben Arbuckle.
You can expect them to continue to lean on the ground. I expect tight coverage, man coverage on the outside. Quarterback run would be something I'm looking at here, especially to the left-hand side where there's only a couple Missouri defenders.
We don't have to snap it again in this quarter. And they're not going to.
With the score,
The only points of the third quarter, a 45-yard field goal by Tate Sandell. On to the fourth we go. Oklahoma leading 17-6 over Missouri. Our presentation of college.
Back here in Norman, Mizzou down 17-6. Coach, your quarterback Bo Pribula with that interception there. How does your offense respond in this fourth quarter?
Yeah, we're going to have to pick up the tempo, throw the football, make some third down conversions. Defense needs to get a big stop right here.
Thank you, Coach.
MIZ.
Pribula hoping that defense can get that stop on a 3rd down and 1 for Oklahoma from its own 44, leading 17-6. Missouri had only 2 first downs in the third quarter. And they get the stop. Robinson driven back. He actually lost a yard. Marquise Gracial at the bottom of the pile. And now Brent Venables will punt. Don't want to give the Tigers the short field.
And there's a great job by Gracial right in the middle. Engaged with Michaela, the center, forces his way through and stops the ball carrier behind the line of scrimmage.
Homegrown player from St. Louis, Missouri. So a big stop. Here's Grayson Miller to punt for the 6th time. Thought for a moment Coleman was going to make a fair catch at the 4-yard line, which would not be surprising in this day and age of college football. We see it over and over again. Players fielding punts near the goal line, but it was just a bluff. And Pribula and the offense come back out. He's 12 out of 20 in his first game in 4 weeks.
One thing that's encouraging, though, one of the best drives they've had the entire day was that end of half drive to steal 3 points. That was when they were utilizing a little bit of tempo, pass first identity, which abandons kind of what they are in their principles. So hopefully they can kind of pick up where they left off with their 2-minute operation.
The best running team in the conference against the best rush defense. The advantage Oklahoma in that battle today. Just 79 yards rushing for Mizzou. And 42 of those were on the opening drive that ended with a field goal. Pribula trying to find somewhere to hide, and he can't. Adebawara made the sack. The 3rd of the day for Oklahoma.
That was really a covered sack. Just excellent work. There's really nobody open. And as Adebawara starts up, stays high, and then immediately retreats and makes the play on Pribula, but that one should be credited to the secondary.
Ahmad Hardy is in. He's not been much of a factor today. Averaging 3.6 per carry. Pribula throws, and it's broken up right at the 30-yard line. Kendall Daniels knocked it away from Kevin Coleman.
Ball thrown just a little bit behind Coleman, and that's what allowed Daniels to get that long left arm in to break up the pass. Another just slight miss from Pribula is showing a little rust.
83,541 here. That's well over the listed capacity. By about 3,000 folks. Oh, for their last 9 on 3rd down. They have a long yardage all day. And that one is taken down back at the 11 by Taylor Wine. 4 sacks. 2 in the last 3 plays.
Wine will get credit, but it's really Halton who slides inside that kind of blows up the pocket. He slides inside, forces Pribula out to his left, where Wine's able to clean it up.
So Wesselman punts under 13 minutes to go. This is his 6th punt. And a good one high. And a fair catch made by Satania at the 43. 46-yard punt. Nowhere to go for Pribula. Oklahoma, an outstanding defensive performance again.
Tammy, back to Norman. Sean, take it away.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. It was an anxious crowd when the game began. Missouri took the opening kickoff, held the ball for more than 8 minutes, and kicked the field goal. They controlled much of the first half. But the game is turned. Missouri has done nothing on offense lately. John Mateer. He got 10 in the first down. Hard not to like him. We talk about competitors.
Yeah, he's not afraid of anything. And jet sweep, follows right underneath it with quarterback power. Has a nice block out in front, too, by Weewu, who just sends a Missouri defender to the right-hand side.
Mateer steps up. He's going to get what he can. He's swung down by Nicholas Rodriguez, the sophomore from Miami. Held it to a 2-yard gain.
Harbaugh tried to steal one there, going for the jugular with all the momentum on the side of the Sooners, but it's the run game that has really elevated this offense in the second half. Not a ton of points to show for it, but they're leaning on this Missouri defense and starting to pay some dividends.
Catania in motion. And his third 100-yard receiving game of the season. Mateer's pass a little behind Deion Burks. Rodriguez there again with help from Dalen Carnell.
Really big collision on a ball that was thrown behind Burks, and good clean hit too from Rodriguez. And here with your outstanding field goal kicker, I mean, you're thinking, all right, I got to get 6 or 7 to give us a chance to either kick it or go for it on 4th down. Don't have to get it all.
Ben Arbuckle did tell us yesterday the fact they have such a terrific field goal kicker has factored into some of his play calls, particularly when it's 3rd and longer than this. He said, okay, rather than try to get the 1st down, let's just make it a field goal attempt for Sandell because it's virtually a guaranteed 3 points. Mateer throws it out of bounds. The officials are going to talk here about a possible intentional grounding. Chris McClellan.
I don't think he ever got outside the tackle box, and there's nobody home over there.
And apparently they're not going to throw a flag. After a brief conversation, the official on the far sideline came running toward the referee. Santana Banner is the injured player for Oklahoma. Excuse me, for Missouri. Important member of their secondary. Transfer from Northern Illinois. Timeout, 11.5 to go. An 11-point lead for the Sooners.
ABC College Football is presented by the Starbucks Coffee Company.
A potentially significant miss a moment ago. As Mateer was trying to throw the ball away, here's the tackle box. He never gets outside the tackle box. He's got to be 3-4 yards outside the right hash to leave the tackle box and then throw it away and say, well, it's inconsequential, they're punting anyways. That's 10-12 yards of field position potentially, so possibly a big miss there by the official.
And Matt Austin agrees. He also says it's a tough call for the referee to make that judgment, especially when the quarterback moves around a little bit. They talked about it, elected not to throw the flag, and Grayson Miller punts for the 7th time. Fair catch made by Kevin Coleman just outside the 10, 34-yard kick. Tuesday, the exclusive reveal of the next college football playoff top 25 rankings. Reese, Greg, and the nameless guys will break down and react to the 12-team field plus a live interview. Do you want to mention who the guys are? What does it change week to week?
No, actually, this week I'm not with them. It's going to be Booger McFarland, Joey Galloway, and Dusty Dvorak will do a fantastic job.
Okay.
This upcoming
so you're
Tuesday.
getting credit even when you're not there.
Yes.
The chairman will be there, Hunter Yurachek. That's 7 p.m. on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app. Do you have it in your deal? You have to be in the promo whether you're actually there or not?
Correct.
It's a good deal.
Yes.
Here's Prabula. Ducks down with a 1-yard gain. For Missouri in this half, 4 plays and a punt, 3 plays and a punt, 3 plays and an interception, 3 plays and a punt. For a total of 7 yards, plus that one will give them 8.
Have any chance of climbing back, the protection needs to be better than it's been so far.
Both first downs have come on penalties. That one looked like it slipped out of Pribula's hand. The general direction of Joshua Manning.
That definitely slipped down because that ball looked like it was airmailed, as you can see right here as he's releasing it. Just comes out very strange off the right-hand side. It looked like the rotation's supposed to come off your index finger. That one came off the middle finger. As a result, just a bit outside.
They converted their first 2 third downs. Those were both on the opening drive of the game. They're 0 for their last 10. Pribula had to get it off to Tavares Jones, and he's upended by Kendall Daniels. The transfer from Oklahoma State on both sides of Bedlam.
Got to feel a little bit for Bo Pribula. He's getting talked to now by his quarterback coach on the far side. And look, he's battling right now against one of the best defenses in America. And this young man just returned to practice off a dislocated ankle less than a month ago. So great admiration for him, but you can tell, man, there's a little bit of rust with the passing attack.
Well, they haven't been able to run the ball. That has set up their passing attack. 7th punt for Wesselman. I think they might be a little leg weary, but that was a good punt. 51 yards. Well, here's a look at the college football rankings that were unveiled this past Tuesday night, brought to us by Verbo. Ohio State still number 1, Indiana 2. A&M remained at 3 after the close call against South Carolina. And Georgia moved up to number 4 after Alabama's loss. Alabama dropped all the way down to 10 and in danger of not making it. They cannot afford to slip up against Auburn.
Yeah, that very interesting rankings this past week. It was a surprise to me to see Alabama fall that far. I thought they'd be in front of Notre Dame. Notre Dame's been outstanding all season long, but Alabama, it felt like some recency after the loss last week to Oklahoma.
Deion Burks yanked down for a loss. Alabama's 4 wins against ranked teams. Teams that were ranked at the top time of the meeting. Oklahoma also has 4, and that's tied for the National League. This would be Oklahoma's 5th win against the team that was ranked when they played them.
Amazing. And to think 7 games against ranked teams is just remarkable. And the team you play next week, they were at one point ranked number 3 in the country.
LSU. And like Missouri, they're talented enough to knock off the Sooners if they don't take care of business. Mateer over the middle for Burks, and broken up by Dalen Carnell, graduate student from Indianapolis, a 3-year starter.
Just a little surprised that Ben Arbuckle right now is continuing to throw the football, because Mateer's thrown 7 picks this year. I mean, it's not like he's been perfect from a decision-making standpoint yet. It's a 2-score game. Your defense is pitching a shutout. Just surprised they're being aggressive by putting in the air when the run game's been okay for him at times in the second half.
Quarterback run game has been effective. It's a lot to ask on 3rd and 13 for Mateer to get to the stick. He did not. Some of the fans booing the play calling. I guess that would be the question. The offense has fallen off. Should Oklahoma make it to the playoff? Are they good enough on offense? They're terrific on defense.
They're incredible on defense, and you can always win with defense, but they got to find a way to create big plays. And right now, those big plays have been absent. And if you look at the numbers for Mateer on throws that travel 10+ yards downfield, 15+ yards downfield, very, very underwhelming. So they got to get that resolved because they have great juice at wide receiver.
Well, with plenty of practice, these punters are now booming the ball back and forth. It's like a ping pong match of punts. That one's 52 yards for Grayson Miller. Defense prevailing, 8.5 away from another victory for Brent Venables if they can hang on to an 11-point lead. Well, I've been talking about it all day with their wins on the road against Tennessee and Alabama. Oklahoma put itself in position to win out and make the college football playoff. They win today, beat LSU here next week. 98% chance. I can't imagine what would have to happen in the 2% for them not to make it. They're already 8th. This will be their 5th win against a ranked opponent. The committee's also said they're factoring that they had a couple of losses when Mateer had just come back from thumb surgery. Ahmad Hardy has been held under 100 only 3 times this season coming in. This is about to be 4 unless he can break one. 1 yard loss there. 57 yards rushing on 17 carries. Missouri from its own 11-yard line.
No rush whatsoever either offensively.
Yeah, Eli told Molly McGrath need to pick up the tempo. That's on target. Kevin Coleman out to the 34-yard line, and now they run quickly toward the line of scrimmage.
That was the nicest throw of the day right there for Pribula. I mean, hits Coleman in perfect stride. Nice yards after catch for pretty good play.
23-yard gain. That was the longest pass play of the game. Trying to go longer here. Coleman runs under it. Was he in bounds? Apparently he was. And they're going to mark it near the 30-yard line and put it down at the 29.
Beautifully placed right there over the shoulder. 1 foot down, left foot down. That one's good on Sundays as well.
Never lost possession of the ball. 37-yard completion. There is an injured player back at the 20-yard line at the other end of the field. It's Taylor Wine. He's back on his feet and now talking to the medical staff. Playing again today without our Mason Thomas.
You hate to see that too. And Taylor Wine a moment ago as he was coming off, he just for whatever reason pulled up. I don't know if he got poked in the eye or something based on his hand gesturing a second ago. Maybe that's what happened.
Redshirt sophomore from Brentwood, Tennessee. Was the SEC Defensive Player of the Week last week. He had the blocked field goal at the end of the half at Alabama. Then had a huge strip sack of Ty Simpson. Our Mason Thomas out of action again today with a leg injury. Did not play at Alabama last week either. Still looks like he's walking with a bit of a limp. So Missouri's moved very quickly. Seven minutes to go. Pribula short set over the middle. 3 straight for Kevin Coleman, the transfer from Mississippi State. A 5-yard gain there.
Continuing to utilize that formation into the boundary. 3 receivers and the running back. So basically 4 weapons on the left side of the quarterback. Hard for the defense to account for.
It goes to the pylon, incomplete. Intended for Olubade. Hayden Bowen, Jacoby Johnson, double coverage on the freshman. They think he's going to be a star. Kirby Moore was talking yesterday about what a great job as a young player Olubade does catching the ball in his hands. His long arms extends them away from his body and is great at catching the ball in his hands.
Especially against a team in Oklahoma that loves to utilize man coverage here on 3rd down. Coleman's the go-to guy against man. I'd anticipate Oklahoma doubling him.
3rd down and 5. They rush 4. Pribula took the check down out wide for Roberts. So here's another 4th down. 3 times today they had 4th down and 3. Despite being one of the best 4th down teams in the country, they didn't go for any of them. Kicked the field goal, had a field goal blocked. Didn't make it the 3rd time either, but now they have to go for this 4th down and 2.
I'd anticipate run here from Missouri's offense.
Sideline warning against Oklahoma's bench.
There are plenty of candidates for that sideline warning over there, but as we said, not a lot of room and a lot of animation.
Tons. And quarterback runs been something they've gone to in the past, and this down and distance. Will they do it again, knowing that Pribula is banged up as Taylor Wines still on the field for the Sooners?
They have to have this fourth down. To the end zone, off the hands of Coleman, and incomplete. He was open. He had a linebacker in coverage, and they could not complete it.
And man, what a missed opportunity for the Sooners. Ball's thrown just ever so slightly upfield, and Coleman can't quite adjust over the top enough to reel it in. Love in a perfect world for that ball to be thrown nice and lofted to the back left pylon. Instead, it's just the tiniest bit off the mark, and Pribula knows they missed a golden opportunity.
So after not going for it 3 times, kicked a field goal, missed a field goal, had it blocked, and punted, they had to go for that fourth down. 4th and 2 is there for a touchdown. Throw a little bit high, but Coleman, who was tremendous on the drive, couldn't snag it. And Oklahoma will likely play offense like they're trying to kill the clock. Mateer across the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Under 5.5 to go. And more of the same here today for Missouri. They're 7-0 against unranked teams, 0-3 against ranked teams.
Just a game of misses, too. I mean, they've had a couple missed opportunities, and Oklahoma's made the massive plays that can turn the game on its head.
Here runs the play clock down to 7. Xavier Robinson tackled by Rodriguez, who's had a nice second half. Missouri started the year 5-0. All those games at home. They played the first 6 games of the year at home for the first time in school history. Lost a heartbreaker to Alabama by 3, 27-24. Then went to Auburn, won a close game in overtime. Traveled to Vanderbilt, lost by a touchdown, the game in which Pribula was hurt. They had a Hail Mary play at the end of the game that came up inches short that would have tied it, at least given them a chance to tie it with an extra point. 3rd down and 7. Mateer is going to try to dance for the first down, and he does, and much more. 14-yard run. That's been their best offense here in the second half. John Mateer either design runs or making something happen when his number wasn't called.
Yeah, and it's a great job, too, by his running back, Robinson, who gets just enough of Darius Smith, who's on the quarterback spy. He sets a bit of a pick. Mateer's able to cut back inside, make one guy miss, and then he has enough and gives himself up smartly and avoids the contact.
48 yards rushing. He's going to try to add to that total. Looked like he was trying to go down to stay in bounds. He did not. 8-yard gain. It doesn't matter. The clock runs again. 2-minute timeout will help Missouri. They have all 3 timeouts remaining. You wonder if they'll start using some here.
Yeah, probably will here in just a moment. Here, considering it's 2nd and short, might wait till Oklahoma gets the first down, and then you start burning them.
Missed opportunity for Coleman. Excellent receiver. The pistol now with under 3 minutes to go. Robinson gets the first down before his forward progress was stopped. Josiah Trotter with help from Santana Banner. 3-yard gain, and reality setting in for Pribula and the Tigers.
And you got to tip your cap to that young man. I mean, I know it hasn't been perfect. There have been some misses. There have been some close calls, but to be back on the field competing as quickly as he has, knowing he's just practiced for a few days, it says an awful lot about that young man's competitiveness.
This will take us to the 2-minute stoppage in all likelihood. Ole snapped it with time left on the clock. And we'll take us to the 2-minute stoppage after a 3-yard pickup by Mateer. Banner another tackle. Missouri running out of time. Oklahoma trying to take another step toward the college football playoff. They're up 17-6. In beautiful Austin, Texas. 2 minutes to go here. Oklahoma trying to run out the clock with a 17-6 lead.
Timeout.
And Missouri will use its first timeout.
They're first.
Not a lot of offense again today for Oklahoma. Just 273 total yards, 87 of those on the one big play, the touchdown pass Mateer to Isaiah Satania. And another blocked field goal. Second game in a row that Oklahoma's blocked a field goal.
What a moment that was, too, knowing what sense come from Oklahoma on both sides of the ball. I mean, that was the complete flip of the switch because it was all Mizzou prior to that block by Bowen.
And the defense did a great job on Ahmad Hardy. The nation's leading rusher came in averaging over 134 yards per game. He had 57 today. He had 43 yards on their opening drive. And just 11 yards on 14 yards rather on 11 carries thereafter. Xavier Robinson. Mizzou used its second timeout, one remaining, 3-yard gain.
Missouri.
Not a great day for Hardy. I think he and Jeremiah Love of Notre Dame are the two leading candidates for the Doak Walk Award voting this weekend. Reduced the 10 semifinalists down to 3 finalists.
I think both those guys are incredible. I mean, I've loved watching Hardy, and while today wouldn't necessarily showcase his greatness, I mean, there were so many examples throughout the season where he's just been ridiculous, especially yards after contact. That's usually the number I look at the most because that's what the back's doing on his own. And my goodness, there are few better in the country than Ahmad Hardy, but Jeremiah Love, man, he's insanely special. So either one of those two guys would be a worthy recipient.
Grayson Miller to punt. With the sun coming out. Trying to put the exclamation point on what is likely a Sooner win. This is his 9th punt, tying a career high. Fair catch made by Coleman. I think Brent Venables, I mean, you always celebrate a win, but I think it's more the same angst for he and Sooner Nation as well. I mean, the offense is going to have fewer than 300 yards again today. A very good Missouri defense. Give them their due. They've been one of the best defenses in the country all year.
Very stingy group, but at some point they're going to have to be able to manufacture more on the offensive side. If the goal is a national championship or advancing deep in the playoffs, you've got to be able to score 30 if the opportunity's there, and that's against great defense that you'll see in the postseason.
Tribula takes the check down for Norfleet, and it's broken up. Incomplete pass. Hard hit by Kip Lewis, who's a hard hitter. You know, we've done a lot of Oklahoma games now this year. There's a lot of focus on John Mateer. His throwing, is his thumb better? Is he velocity on the ball? They're not putting up the same kind of numbers they put up at the beginning of the year before he got hurt. But as we do all these games, when do you see receivers running open? Every now and then Satania does, or he has run after the catch, but nobody else. It's not like, wow, they have guys running free all over the place and they're just not hitting the passes. They don't have people open downfield.
Yeah, and they're not an overly big wide receiver group with the exception of Gibson. So they don't have guys that can really go up all the time and make those contested catches that require girth at wide receiver.
Tribula put it up for grabs. A catch by Coleman. Very nice catch in traffic for a 26-yard gain.
26 yards on that one.
I think this Oklahoma team, though, I mean, yes, it'll be a unique path to victory, but there's not a team out there right now that wants to see this defense.
No.
And this defensive line, a reminder, the last 2 games against good quality ranked competition, they did so without arguably their best defensive player in R. Mason Thomas.
7 catches for 115 for Coleman, but he'll rue the one he couldn't catch in the end zone on their last possession. Pribula hit as he threw. It's an incomplete pass. Hit by David Stone. And we saw the bracket from this past ranking. The playoff began today. They host Notre Dame here. That'd be a pretty appealing matchup.
I think be a few people watching that one.
And it's important for them to play a game here. If they win next week, you would think they would be one of those teams hosting a first-round game.
And knowing that they're not playing the conference championship game, that winning with some style points would be beneficial to lock down that home playoff game, too.
They're kind of in the best possible situation, right? Win out and you're in. You don't have to worry about playing a conference championship game. Jamal Roberts running for the sideline, couldn't get there. Great tackle just shy of the boundary by Owen Heineke. Stopped it for a 7-yard gain. And kept it in bounds. So the clock's going to run under a minute by the time they snap it again. On target, Pribula to Lubende for a first down to the 46. 13-yard gain.
Given the challenges of Missouri's kicking game, some teams would opt to take the field goal, onside kick, throw a Hail Mary. But man, the kickers have been such a struggle. Did they do that? Probably not.
Pribula down the hash marks well over the head of Coleman. Pribula's 20 for 35 for 234 and 1 interception. He's been sacked 4 times. Young man who had a hard decision to make around this time a year ago. Was at Penn State, a team that was heading to the college football playoff, but he was the backup. He knew he was going to go in the transfer portal, and he elected to go and not stay with the Nittany Lions. Talked about that decision yesterday. He was on a visit at Ole Miss when Penn State was hosting SMU. He said, I was in a meeting. I just told the Rebels I need to step out. I need to watch the Penn State game. He's happy he's here. He's not happy with that throw. Picked off to seal the game. Eli Bowen with his 2nd interception in as many games. He's been a big playmaker. Had the blocked field goal earlier. Been a big couple of weeks for the Bowen family. Marvin Jones Jr. applied the heat. Now they'll have to take a knee and go to 9-2. Try to take care of business against LSU next weekend. And Oklahoma will be back in the college football playoff for the first time since it went to a 12-team field. That was last year. And better days ahead for Pribula. It does have another year of eligibility left. They have 1 game remaining at Arkansas. Tier will take a knee. 5 wins against ranked opponents. Oklahoma goes to 9-2. 5-2 in conference. They're not alive for the conference title. And the Sooners have now won 19 straight home games against Missouri dating back to 1966. And Coleman ponders that drop pass that would have made it interesting over the final couple of minutes.
Just still such a gutsy performance from Oklahoma, man. I mean, this team just continues to impress me with their toughness, their physicality, and how opportunistic they've become the last couple weeks. It's been unbelievable.
Here's Molly.
Coach, your defense with game-changing plays over and over again, multiple interceptions, the blocked field goal, multiple sacks. What did you like most about their performance?
They're just grimy. It's a grimy group of guys, and that's why I love it. They've got a relentless mindset, incredible intensity, and and they're together. You see them, they know how to play together, and that really personifies this football team. It's not pretty, but this is not a beauty contest. This is football, and we got to find a way. I know Missouri, they're comfortable, playing that way, so we knew that's really how the day would go.
One more regular season game to go. How does this group just continue to stay alive in the playoff race?
Yeah, they're hungry, not satisfied. They know that we haven't done anything. We're 9-2 now, and that's still, again, this is Oklahoma. You go around this stadium, this building, and the championships that are represented here, 27 seasons of 11-plus wins. So incredibly high standards and expectations, and our guys want some of that. They want to be one of the people at the table.
Congrats on the win, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sean.
All right, Molly, thank you. Oklahoma winner. Final score, 17-6 over Missouri. For Molly McGrath, Greg McElroy, our great crew led by Brian Ryder and Jeff Evers. And our crew delighted to welcome back our legendary spotter, Zach Rapatrizone. So long from Norman. Let's send you back to the studio.